Hi, what's up? I'm back. My name's LA, and we're getting into Love is Blind. Real quick, short video, but I talked about this in my last live about episode 3. The black girls are not getting any play, and social media noticed. And so the creator had to respond. Let's run the intro and get into it. Yeah, Drake was patting you on the back. All the rappers. Hey, what's up? Back again. Hey, what's up? It's up to you to do the research. It's up to you. Okay, everybody, we are back. We are going to talk about the article in. Oh, wait. There is more to talk about. But first, let's get into Love is Blind being accused of having the whitest cast ever in any season. So we're in season 8, and this article is an interview with Chris Coelen, who says that DEI and diversity is not his problem. But I will tell you what I said more recently. I said in my last episode on Love is Blind season 8, where I reviewed episode 3, what I said was that Love is Blind had already received so much criticism for the way that the Black women are treated on the show that they are about to completely stop showing the Black women's interactions. And whether it's good or bad, they aren't able to control the narrative on this show. But what they're doing is they're going to eliminate the Black woman's story completely, because they're not getting good press and they don't have great outcomes except for a few, like Lauren, who is still married, and Tiffany, who is married to Brent. Those are the only 2 Black women from the Love is Blind cast that had a love story that wasn't or didn't seem like it was really, really bad. So let's get into this story. And the interviewer, it's very interesting that the interviewer was speaking with Chris Coelen, and he says, in response to the backlash that he's gotten, that the people who fall in love are the people who fall in love. But like I said, I recognize this, and I know that the backlash they got on YouTube is why they're going to completely stop even showing the Black woman's love story, because they got so much backlash. And I'm not saying it was wrong. It was rightfully so, but they got a ton of backlash. So Love is Blind has a real diversity problem. Now, shown here are problematic Adam, this is Mason, and this is Sarah. The article reads, Love is Blind has a real diversity problem this season, but creator Chris Coelen tells Entertainment Weekly that wasn't intentional. I will tell you it absolutely was intentional. He will never admit that it was intentional, but it absolutely was intentional because of the backlash they received from social media reaction videos about how this story was going for Black women. It was never good. But I think we also have to look at society and the real partners in real life for Black women. Are Black women getting good partners in real life? That's a real serious question that, Netflix can't be to blame for that. You had, remember Uche? Do y'all remember Uche? And Uche had a connection with, I can't remember her name. Uche had a connection with the Black woman on the show, but he had a prior history and then began some weird behavior with the Spanish woman on this show. He had a prior history with her and then started like stalking her on the show, allegedly, from what I watched. But that's still alleged, right? So it says Netflix reality dating series where singles get engaged without ever seeing their partner and then rush down the aisle for a wedding 4 weeks later, return for season 8 on Valentine's Day with 6 episodes that all take place in the pods. So that's the first 6 episodes we're reviewing together. I'll post my 4, 5, and 6 reaction video today. So be sure that you're hanging on and watching that. And while the Minnesota season has the largest cast to date, adding 2 more singles to make it a total of 32, it's also the least diverse. Over the first 7 seasons, Love is Blind. See, look at what I'm telling you. Over the first 7 seasons, Love is Blind featured casts that were about 50% non-white contestants overall. But this one is only about 30% non-white. This is in response to social media's backlash for the past seasons, especially with Ashley and Tyler being the most recent. Why would you cast this deadbeat, bankrupt man for Ashley? So, but this one is only about 30% non-white, a fact that is glaringly obvious while watching montages of an abundance of white brunette men in the pods. Well, the show cast itself is what Coelen tells Entertainment Weekly. We put people in the pods and you try to have a very diverse group of people in lots of different ways at the start. And then the people who get engaged are the people who get engaged. The people who fall in love are the people who fall in love. If you're sort of trying to tick a box, there were lots of people who were in the group coming into the pods who ultimately just didn't find their person and who we didn't choose to follow. There was also a moment where Dave, the cringiest dater of all in the pods, Cringy Dave, was asking women as soon as he walked into the dates, what's wrong with you? And there was Molly who said, yeah, I heard some of the girls didn't like that question. So the girls that didn't like that question, that's not a question I would like. I can see it as a joke, but most women are like, what? But Dave is a cringy. So of course that would be offensive. And I know who was offensive too. Because it was offensive to me. It was like, what? This joke is unnecessary. So it says the creator explains that it's difficult to feature a cast member in episodes if he or she doesn't make any connections with anyone. He did expand the pod episodes to feature stories of couples who didn't get engaged. It's important to note, however, that most of those couples were white. It's like how we chose to tell the Madison, Meg, Mason, Alex story because it felt really worthwhile telling, Coelen says. There are 32 stories times however many people each person dates. So if each person starts off dating 16 people, do the math. That's, I don't know, close to 1,000 stories, something like that. And you can only tell so many of them. Coelen says their goal is always to start the season with a diverse cast and then see how the relationships and connections unfold naturally. There aren't great partners for Black women in the real world. That's not Chris Coelen's fault. That is not Chris Coelen's fault. We always, always, always strive to seed the pods for the greatest possible success. And within that, diversity of not only ethnicity or race, but backgrounds and financial status and body types and looks and all that stuff. You're less concerned about that, to be honest, than just trying to have a group of people that you hope are somewhat compatible and then seeing what happens. And like I said, then they cast the show for us. We don't decide, oh, this is a good couple, that's a good couple. We don't steer it in any way. They figure it out on their own, which I can actually believe. If you have a connection, you go further. If you don't have a connection, you probably won't make it past episode 3 or 4, right? We'll never see you again, which happened for so many of the ladies. Some, like I showed in the beginning, we'll get into that. I think that should be a separate episode, but we'll definitely get into it because I noticed it right away. And I agree with Chris Coelen. Although the diversity isn't there, he can't help that. If the women aren't making the connection, and there was an Asian American woman and there were Black American women, and there was a Hispanic woman, if I'm not mistaken. If the connections aren't there, there's nothing that they can do about that. But I also understand that casting. Okay, there are so many parts to this. Let me tell you why there are so many parts to this. Number one, Black men aren't super social people. That's just the truth. And I'm sorry to say it, I don't really care who gets offended. It's a reality. In the Black American community, Black men aren't overly confident, they aren't overly social. So, casting for a show like this and expecting to find Black accomplished men, whether accomplished, educated, financially stable, whatever, the social aspect of it is hard for them because they mostly lack confidence. What you may see is a lot of ego. What you may see is like bravado, but you're not seeing genuine social capabilities that you see in other communities, right? But I don't think it's fair to do in comparison like white and Black. White men have different social skills than Black men, or white men socialize better than Black men. Those are a lot of society things, right? But to cast for Black women, you need Black men. And to get Black men to willingly open up and come out on the show, it's not likely. It's You're going to always have a larger pool of white men for this show. So, the first 6 episodes debuted on the 14th, that was Valentine's Day. We're all entertained, we're all locked in, and I absolutely love it. So we're just gonna keep watching. We're gonna keep watching and see how the season goes. But we already know who's there. We already know the cast. There isn't anything more diverse happening. So this is my only video I'll do about this, but I do want to do a separate video, and I hope you all are subscribing and looking out for more content. I do want to talk about these social skills and make a few comparisons, although not completely just, but I do want to talk about why you're never going to get a large swath of Black men to pair up with Black women on this show. You're just not. We love Devin and Victoria, that what they represented, but we'll get into the problems with the men on the show, and then we'll get into the problems with having Black men cast on the show. But I just wanted to address this because I thought it was really, really good to talk about. And again, this is on from Entertainment Weekly. It's just talking about the whitest cast ever on season 8. So thank you all for watching. That is all I have for today. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I hope you all come back to see me later. Bye.